Okay, because I wanted to make a YouTube channel, I wanted to make a video today because it was there's a lot of aha moments that I had today, just in terms of talking to people who are facing really serious health challenges, which means that they may or may not have 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, or 1 year, like, to live max. It's pretty scary. So I always try to live my life as if, treating people or telling people how I feel about them or putting my relationships first and just focusing on the fact that we could die tomorrow, we could get hit by a truck, we could get stage 4 cancer, we could need a transplant, we could, our organs could fail, all these things. And talking to strangers, friends, family today, a stranger, a friend, and a family today that are all going through some pretty severe health diagnoses, scares, situations, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that we just fucking lighten up and stop worrying so much about what other people think about us and resisting from being true to ourselves and letting ourselves out there. And I always fear about sounding corny because I think a lot of my realizations in life are exactly quotes that I saw on my kindergarten wall as a kid. And that's crazy to think. Like, all this stuff, it's not new ideas. Like, all these things, all these realizations that I'm making at the age of 31 were told to me as a child. Like, live your dreams. Like, if you can dream it, if you can dream it, you can do it. If you can believe it, you can achieve it. Like, all these things, like, it sounds so basic. And for me, I always was like, that's corny, like, blah, blah, blah. I don't get it. It didn't mean anything to me. But at age 31, like, having been through the shit I've been through and having the relationships making and breaking and losing people unexpectedly and seeing people suffer and my own self suffering emotionally, physically, financially, you name it, it's just has a different meaning. When life progresses, things change in their meaning and some things become more deep. And the fact that I went through my day today, I've been working at this sales job for 2 months almost, and I had a day today where I make almost 300 phone calls a day to women who are overweight. Most of them are in our demographic are 50 to 100 pounds overweight, and they're facing serious health challenges, and it's really challenging to get them out of their current way of thinking and break down those barriers and, like, really get to them. And I'm having a lot of challenges doing that. And for me specifically today, I was really bothered because I was not getting nobody was picking up the phone. We call our women Tina. And I said, no Tinas are picking up. Like, just no one said hello. Like, I didn't even have a chance to talk to them at all. And I knew that I had something to offer. And I was so caught up in being frustrated that I couldn't offer help, or frustrated that I couldn't make sales to earn myself money and, like, prove that I was a good salesperson, that I could do this. And I was just so caught up in that. And then, I had, like, a couple of conversations with women who were like, I'm not buying anything, like, don't call me anymore. And I was like, I went to lunch and I was like, I'm kind of frustrated, And then later, our day ends at 6 p.m., probably at like 5 p.m. or so, I talked to this woman. She was 62, and she was willing to talk to me and have a conversation, which I was happy about. And she told me that she was waiting to get a little bit more healthy, a little bit more strong, so that she could get the liver and kidney transplants that she so desperately needed to survive. And it put things in perspective, because not only did that happen, today was just a really crazy day. Like, I was so frustrated about myself and my own revenue and my own sales and my own paycheck and my own struggle that I forgot to realize how much other people are struggling. This woman is like nearly on her deathbed, like waiting for a liver transplant and a kidney transplant. I nearly wanted to offer my fucking kidney. I got off the phone with her being like, oh, I could probably do without a kidney. Like, why did I offer that? So selfish of me. But I mean, that's kind of extreme. And then also, I picked up my phone shortly after that phone call, and I have a family group chat about my grandmother who's in the hospital, and they're saying that, you know, she's had some heart and kidney issues for the last, let's say, 6 months. Before that, she was perfectly able. We lived together for a while. We're like, anybody that knows me, we're like buddies. I'm like, what's up, grandma? I talk to her like she's my girlfriend. Like, I probably share more with her than I do my parents or like some of my closest friends. And she's just funny. She makes me laugh. I make her laugh. Like, we're real with each other. And she's just not doing well. Like, she's in and out of the hospital, and she's back in the hospital again right now. And she is, she might have to have like some sort of heart valve situation, like operation. It's fine. And, you know, my dad says he answers the phone at the hospital the other day. Me and my friend were joking about this earlier. He answers the phone. I call, they tell me what hospital room she's in, what hospital, and I call it. I find her. And who picks up the phone? I thought it was going to be a nurse. It was my dad. And he's like, oh, she's out for a run. She's out on a run. Like, she'll be back soon. But she was really laying there, like, very ill. And so that's just how my dad deals with things, and therefore how I deal with things. Of course, I love to just, you know, have a good laugh about it, because what else are you gonna do? Like, cry about it? Nah. So when I spoke to my grandmother the other day, she was just like, not feeling good, not feeling good enough to talk, and it made me sad. And I told her that I loved her, and I told her that, you know, I'd always be there for her, and I loved her, and I wish I could be there to give her a freaking squeeze, and she's the best. And like, don't worry, like, I got your back, whatever you need. And then today, our group chat, she may or may not need to go in for the surgery, but maybe not till next week. All is well. And, you know, my cousin Joy chimed in and was like, all is not really that well. Like, let's be real here. She has a weak heart. Her kidneys are failing, and she's suffering greatly. Like, let's have a little compassion here. And it went from me like laughing and just being like, my shift is almost over, to like, just being like, we have to be real with ourselves. We can laugh about shit all day long and not take things too seriously and be light about things, but at the end of the day, like, let's not sweep shit under the rug. Like, let's be fucking real and lay things out on the table. Lay them out on the table. And so, I feel like this is a really, really long video, but I don't know how to make YouTube videos. I don't even know if videotaping myself on a phone will translate to YouTube, or if this looks cute, or if the back, I don't know. So my last thing that I wanted to bring up was that this day was just so frustrating / eye-opening, because okay, so many things happened. So frustrated about my job, sales job, blah blah blah, whatever. Who the fuck cares in the grand scheme of things? And then, this might be better lighting. Who knows? Who cares? Okay, so frustrated about my job, have no sales, first time ever, like, frustrated. And living in my tiny little stupid world. And then, you know, I talked to this woman who needs these transplants, and I'm like, whoa. I don't even care about selling shit to you. You didn't even know who you were talking to. You were just happy to be talking to someone. And it reminded me about sorry to play with my hair so much, it's probably so annoying, but it reminded me about my whole purpose of putting myself out there, the whole purpose of me putting myself out here, putting myself out anywhere, like really being open and expressing when it's uncomfortable, is because I have a mission, and because I care about mental health, and I care about people laying it out on the table instead of sweeping it under the rug. Because yeah, it's fine to joke about it and make light of it and then get down to the nitty gritty, but it's not okay to pretend nothing's happening when something is happening. And I'm not cool with that. Like, if some shit's going on, like, be transparent about it. It's the only way that you can get past something, is if you acknowledge it. And the lack of acknowledgement is like, ugh, that's my biggest frustration in life, is the lack of acknowledgement of something that's going on. Like, if I can tell you my biggest pet peeve in the fucking world, it's the lack of acknowledgement of something that's serious that's going on that we need to talk about in order to solve it. And so my last thing that happened today, so the job thing, the woman on the phone call with the transplants, then talking to my grandmother and knowing that she's not doing well, and then my good friend that I worked with that helped me get this job, who I met over the summer at this like amazing thing called Life on Fire. I will get into that another day, but he is fucking amazing. I'm not going to reveal his name right now because I don't think everybody knows, because he just found out this, but just had some serious news. And the way that he expressed it was so lighthearted and so happy and so gentle and so caring and so like taking care of everybody else before himself. Like, everything's gonna be fine, I'm gonna be fine, but like also expressing how serious his health struggle is right now. He found out about a week ago that he had cancer, and found out today that it's spread significantly over the last week and is considered stage 4. And I don't even mean to sound dramatic right now, but it's like we laughed about it and we said, you know, everything's gonna be okay, but at the end of the day, like, let's get real here. Time is of the fucking essence. There should always be urgency. Even if you are 21 years old and you're in perfect health, there should always be urgency to crush your fucking bucket list, your goals, your dreams. There should always be urgency, because you never fucking know when it's gonna end. You never know when you never know when anything's gonna happen to any of us. There could be a flood, there could be a fucking earthquake, there could be aliens take over, the hell freezes over, like a truck comes and see you later. You know, we jaywalk all the time. I'm always jaywalking. Like, that's what I always say. I'm like, whatever. I get hit by a truck, heart attack, aneurysm. You never know. Things come unexpectedly. So let's just stop worrying so much about what everybody thinks and just do you and just be real. And, you know, I'm incredibly uncomfortable videotaping myself, posting it on the internet. But guess what? It's what I have to do to get to the next step of being more comfortable, of figuring out who I am more, of being open more, of judging myself less, of worrying about other people less. And, you know, 3 people today that are literally having these crazy health crises that could... It's just fucking serious. And so my next point is this. During my work shift today, I was so worried about myself and blah, blah, blah. And I started worrying about other people. And then I started thinking, wow, what I do is reach out to women who are incredibly overweight, who have a lot of health issues. And we're focusing on their fitness, nutrition, and accountability. But we're not so much focusing on their mental health. My whole like purpose, legacy, like business that I want to start is 100% about mental health. And people talk about it like 2019, people are like, mental health is so important, blah, blah, blah. But let's take action, okay? And so I have an actionable business model plan that I'm starting to work on, and this can connect. The people that don't buy, that are too scared, that are too depressed, that are too locked in their own bubble, that have too much walls built up, like, I can break down those barriers a little bit. They can reach out to me a little bit at a time, 1 minute at a time. And that is where I was like, aha. I had a fucking aha moment, because I was like, the people that we can't help with the fitness and nutrition, at least we can help with the mental health, with the having somebody to lean on. And that is so important. That is my like lifetime goal, because I've been through some traumas and I thought I had it under control. And I moved out here to San Diego and I didn't know anybody and everything fell apart. And I experienced like the craziest, darkest, saddest, loneliest, darkest, like unexplainable moments where all I needed was someone to turn to. And most of the time when I needed that person, it would be like 3:00 in the morning. Here nobody's awake on the East Coast. All the people that I knew, loved, and trusted were sleeping. Like, there was nobody to turn to. I would drive myself out to the boardwalk, out to the beach, and take a walk in the middle of the night. I mean, there's tons of homeless people out there that are approaching you. It just didn't feel safe. I felt even more scared, alone, and uncomfortable. And so what I wanted to do for other people who are in that state, I know there's a lot of people. I volunteered at this youth leadership thing called Hobie. I never thought I would do, and that solidified it for me. I worked with these kids and I like just was their like counselor, like made sure they didn't run off. The amount of people that are 15 right now, all the people that I did this with were 15. The amount of the people that are 15 and their friends that have talked about traumatic things, no one to turn to, depression, suicide, it was like 90%. Every single person had a story. There is not enough. There's not enough. So I'm going to end this on that. Like, I don't know if I went off on a tangent. I'm not used to videotaping myself. I don't know if I don't know how I'm going to judge myself, how other people are going to perceive this. But like I said, it does not fucking matter, because my message is here, and my message is be transparent, lay that shit out on the table. Who the fuck cares what you think about you, what other people think about you? Because in the end, it doesn't fucking matter. Only fucking matters that you're being honest, truthful, transparent, caring, loving, and really just making the most out of all the moments that you have, because you never know when that shit can get taken away. And I know this is something that people say. My mom said this to me my whole life. Like, one decision could change your life forever. Like, cool, nothing bad has ever happened yet, so fuck it. Like, once you have experiences, you realize like how fucking important it is to be transparent and honest and let people know how you feel, and be there for other people and check in on other people and just be vulnerable and just love everybody. Even if you've been fucking burned 1,000 times before, you can still love the next person and just know that there's a chance that they could burn you, but you're not going to let that stop you. Because I know so many people that they've been burned and then they let that stop them forever, and they were lonely and they were sad forever because they never opened themselves up again. So open your motherfucking self up, let it fly, be you. This is not embarrassing. I did not get ready for this. This is me after a long ass work shift. I think my hair is pretty nice because I got it done. Who the fuck cares? Stop being self-conscious, Michelle. All right, peace out. I'm going to post this on the internet, and hopefully there's more to come. Bye.